folks, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we will be looking into today? India's balancing in the Cold War version 2.0. First and foremost, many experts have dubbed this period as Cold War 2.0. Now, the reason why they're calling this period as Cold War 2.0 is because of the resemblance it has towards the Cold War period of your post Second World War. Now, what happened at that point of time is your majority powers, USA formed one bloc, USSR formed another bloc. The same concept is happening today. Your US, it's let's say EU and allies are forming one bloc. But on the opposite side, it is your China and Russia which is forming another bloc. But this cannot be exactly like your Cold War, because the first Cold War, or now we are going to call it as Cold War version 1.0, where there was a strict bipolarity. The world was moving towards bipolarity. But as of now, we cannot tell the world is bipolar, but rather it is edging towards multipolarity. And one of the most important aspects here is the aspect of swing states, that is states which are not fitting into the category of either your Western bloc or Eastern bloc, and they have the ability to tilt the balance. That is where your India will come in. So what is this Cold War 2.0 and how is India balancing it? This is what we will be seeing in the course of the video. Now if you are someone who likes geopolitical news, national affairs, international affairs, current affairs, now this video is definitely for you. If you want more details or more videos or more topics to be covered on this, then hit subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy channel. Alright, let's go ahead. Now, first and foremost, why are we calling this a Cold War 2.0? See, first, as of now, if we see, the world is divided. As in your US is trying to expose its hegemony alongside its protectionist tendency, which is equally fought back by your China. And Russia, even Russia knows its stance that it is no longer USSR. But that is why you see, especially post your Russia-Ukraine war, Russia is tilting more towards your China. So it is more of the tango of your dragon and the bear in the Eastern bloc. The Western bloc, US is making more noise with its usual NATO allies. Understanding? So in structure, or at least the ideology retains like your Cold War period of two opposing strong blocs, but this is not exactly like your Cold War, because this version is leaning and more etching towards multipolarity rather than your unipolarity or bipolarity. Now if you see the setting of the Cold War, the West has, with respect to your US and allies such as your NATO, then we also see the upcoming of Quad also under this angle, where your US tried to use Japan, Australia, India, so as to balance the Indo-Pacific. Understanding? The other side is your China and Russia with the increasing context of your BRICS, SCO, BRI, Belt and Road initiatives. Now then there are these middle powers, so much so that many have called them as your swing states. These are the states which have equal alliance with the West as well as the East. For example, let's take India itself. In USA, it is aligned with Quad. It is aligned with technology. So it is having, especially post disintegration of USSR, India has grown closer, especially in the past 2 decades. Understanding? Now if you see with respect to Russia, India and your Russia are your historic allies. Now if you see with respect to China, it is more of a competition between India and China with respect to, let's say, border issues, cross-border terrorism, of its support to Pakistan, and also equal competition that India faces from China in Asia and African countries, right? So when India being in this way, most times they end up calling India as a swing state. That is, it is not bound by any side. It is not bound by the West or it is not bound to the East, but rather it maintains its strategic autonomy and leans towards both sides. So these middle actors have the power to tilt the balance towards whichever country tries to be in, let's say, in closer proximity with respect to the ties with India. Now if you see what are the countries which are in the middle powers here, India, Turkey, Brazil, Indonesia, understanding. So how is India's position with respect to Russia? We are tied up with energy, defense. Then with China we have again border issues, we have competition from Asia, African countries. With respect to United States, we have, especially in the last 2 decades, have grown large amount of your relationship, especially woven around your trade, technology, defense. So this is the concept of we engage with all, we depend on none, we tend to maintain our strategic autonomy, that is our foreign policy, or otherwise the tag that we use as Vishwa Bandhu. Understanding? And also our schemes also showcase the same thing, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Saath. So Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is also on this. Now if you see the present US and India relations, it is strained more because of the tariff mounting pressure. Whether US wants to know this or not, but India remains a very key strategic partner for USA, irrespective of growing differences on the tariff matters, is because if at all India wants to contain China with respect to, let's say, in order to have a strong Indo-Pacific region, then it needs India's help. And second thing is good amount of we have relationship with respect to technology, critical let's say emerging technologies, and also with respect to Quad alliance, right. One thing about Quad itself, if you see, let's take member countries are your USA, Japan, Australia and India. Japan historically has been an ally of the West, but India has not been like that. India has not been an historic ally of USA. But at this point of time it is still engaging, means this comes as the fact that yes, India is possible to do that, it is trying to do this irrespective of historical things. So that is one of the important things for this middle power states. If say with respect to India-Russia relations, it is a decade-long trust, we are time-tested friendship. We have with respect to our energy sources, especially defense imports, space cooperation, all of these are very important. In fact, Russia was the one who recommended India for SCO. We are also joint, let's say, coordination in BRICS forum. And with this, historically, India and Russia have had very good ties, the same continues. The next is your India-China rivalry. We have, especially with respect to Galwan clashes post 2019, we have LAC standoffs, we have Belt and Road initiatives, One Belt, One Road, and also how it, your BRI with respect to your China and Pakistan CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, how it violates India's sovereign autonomy, that is what we have been telling. And also there is constant competition in Asian and African countries. So this is the rivalry. Now before we move ahead, if you are someone who is interested to kickstart your UPSC civil service journey, then look no further, you have found the right spot with Legacy IAS Academy. One of the best things about Legacy IAS Academy is we offer the batch size at strictly 40 members per limit, and also there is one-on-one mentorship, easy access to educators, and also you have daily mains answer writing challenge, prelims mock test series, interview mock panels. At the same time, we also provide a holistic current affairs coverage. For those of you who are working professionals or students, we also offer weekend classes. We conduct our classes in both offline as well as online mode. To see how the classes are conducted, you can book a demo session either online or offline. For more information, you can contact the number given below, or you can go through Legacy IAS Academy website. Alright, now coming back to the topic. See, for an alliance to be formed, it is not just enough about the power or the position or diplomacy, also civilizational autonomy is also to be taken into consideration. For example, like I told, we took the Quad example, right? Japan has historically been an ally of your West, but India has not been the one. How is the India balanced in its history about trying to deal with the superpowers? It has chosen non-alignment, that is where your NAM comes in. So it has always been towards a strategic autonomy in its foreign policy, and also it is not a Western outpost. That is, despite that, India tries to balance its relation. That is where the balancing act comes. So here India takes into account of its identity, history, autonomy, and keeping all this, it does not easily fit into any of these categories. Because of this, we are now today in this world moving towards the multipolarity, and the swing states or these middle states, for example, your India, Turkey, Brazil, Indonesia, all of these people resist alignments and try to maintain more of independence. Understanding? And the same thing we can say about your your US and Russia relations also. For very long time, your Washington has wanted to keep Russia closer, but again, Russia also follows the same path of your civilizational or historical matters, wherein, with respect to especially the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917 and the autocratic rule where that was overthrown. So it present day ideology of Russia stems from its cultural and your historical practices. So this is the unique trajectory that largely binds your eastern states. Now if you see what are the challenges for India, first thing is balancing between your west and east. And second thing is, if it has two, let's say with respect to the east, right now the east is of two blocks. The tango of your bear and your dragon. In this, the elephant comes in. Understanding? The elephant has to delicately find balance between your China. And also, this is a very single clear cut ideology for India, that we cannot rely on any one partner. And India has the power to make sure whichever side it aligns with, that side will have an extra weightage. So, yes, we are in Cold War 2.0 of sorts, where your US, China, Russia are in the constant headlines. But New Delhi has the power to write the real story. Understanding? With this, we reach the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.